Welcome to another informational show about social media marketing. If you're a band, a business, or use social networking, you want to hear Highway to Success with your host, Cynthia McIntosh.
Welcome, and hello everyone. My name is Cynthia, and you are listening to the Highway to Success show here on Indie 104. I have the special honor and privilege of being your host here on the Highway to Success show and sharing various tools, ideas, and support that I hope will help entrepreneurs and artists to find the success that they work so hard for. Our guest today is an actor, an author, a radio talk show host, a pitchman, and one of the most interesting and energetic people you could ever want to meet. Rob Ekno has a radio talk show here on Indie 104 every morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you haven't heard it, you need to check it out. The name of his show is In Your Face. And every day you can start off your day by listening to Rob Ekno, and you definitely will not regret it. Every day, Rob interviews people that have miraculous, life-changing experiences, and you can't listen to his show without being really touched by the stories that are shared by his guests. So if you haven't listened to his show before, be sure to tune in to indie104.com tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and check him out. I have absolutely no doubt that you'll be glad you did. It's really a wonderfully inspiring way to start your day. But today, we will be visiting with Rob here on the Highway to Success show, discussing a completely different topic. I have the pleasure of working with Rob on his social media marketing, and today we're going to discuss some of the obstacles that we run into, and he's going to share what he believes to be some of the biggest do's and don'ts of being an entrepreneur. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with you and our special guest right after this.
Hello everyone, this is DJ Daniel. Are you looking for a way to make the second half of your Mondays fly by? Then check out Independent Corner here on Indie 104. I give you 3 hours of the best indie artists and bands from the US and around the world. I might even play someone from your hometown.
Hi everyone, this is Lloyd
and Katie.
We are Garak from Tokyo, Japan.
Hello everyone, this is Morrigan from Ravensheart in the UK.
Hey mate, this is Marty.
And this is Karen
of Sugar Rock from Brisbane, Australia.
That's Independent Corner with me, DJ Daniel, every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Indie 104, iRadio LA.
Hi, I'm comedian Carol Leifer. Animal experiments are no joke. Thank goodness scientists are finding better, more humane ways to develop treatments for cancer and other killer diseases. I hope you'll learn more about the Humane Charity Seal of Approval. It helps donors find charities that provide vital care and advanced research without using animals. For information on how you can give and let live, go to humaneseal.org. That's humaneseal.org.
Hi, this is Cynthia with the Highway to Success show. I want to thank you for listening to our show today, and I sincerely hope that you're learning new and exciting ways to improve your marketing campaign and to build your business. I want to remind you that we will be here every Wednesday at noon, Pacific Standard Time, to bring you experts in the field of social media marketing, promotions, and business management. So be sure to tune in each week. The Highway to Success show is brought to you by Success with McIntosh, and you can visit us on the web at successwithmacintosh.com or call us at 866-636-4696. That number again is 866-636-4696, or you can visit us on the web at successwithmacintosh.com.
I'm Alec Baldwin. Like any parent, I'm concerned about children's health. Many kids don't eat as they should and are at risk for long-term health problems like diabetes and heart disease. But here's good news. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and other low-fat vegetarian foods can protect our kids and keep the rest of the family healthy too. For a free booklet, call the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at 1-877-685-KIDS or visit www.kidsgethealthy.org.
And we're back with Highway to Success with Cynthia McIntosh.
Welcome back to the Highway to Success show. Today I have the wonderful pleasure of speaking to Rob Ekno. Welcome, Rob, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for showing me that a professional is definitely needed when you're trying to do things in life, especially with social media marketing nowadays. You know, I think so many people probably think, you know, I'm just going to get on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever it is and just put a pretty picture up there and everybody will just flock to my website or something. And I found out that that is not the case.
That is not the case. Social media marketing is social media marketing. It's building relationships, and no matter how you do it, building relationships takes time. But first off, I want to give you a minute to just tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you are doing with your business.
Well, I am a professional talk show host and actor and motivational speaker and an author. And obviously, in order for people to know that, I've got to be out there. And realistically, I'm not really all that computer literate. I still have an old phone, an old computer, and stuff like that. But I realize that in today's day and age, whether I like it or not, the rest of the world is living on social media. And so obviously, if I want a presence out there and I want people to get to know me and be able to buy my products or hire me to be able to make a living for myself and family and stuff, I need to be out there and get known. And I just don't know how to do it all myself. And even if I did realistically, Sophia, the reality is that you get so busy with just normal daily stuff that you really need somebody that's just focused on that stuff. And that's where you've been an amazing help to me.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and we did mention that we have been working together for a while, and I've been helping you with your marketing by designing a website and some social media. What have been the advantages that you've seen from the marketing tools that we've created for you?
Well, one, the website, fantastic, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on the website. And also from there, you know, it allows you to just do so much. There's so many people, especially being out here where I am in Hollywood, casting people or people that want to hire you. They want to be able to go to one clean place, this is what I've learned, and be able to find out everything they need to know in precise. And I had built the website myself a while back, and I just had like a million things on, and I just thought the more the merrier. And then you've been able to, you know, and yeah, I laugh too, right? Because you've been able to teach me that we don't, in the website realm, you want enough because you want to give enough information, but you don't want so much that people are just going to say, whoa, I don't even know where to start.
Right. And most people, just like you just got done saying, you do not have a lot of time to do social media marketing. While your agents do not have a lot of time to sit there and read pages and pages and pages and pages of information either. So what has been the most effective tool that we've created for you up to this point, and how has it changed your business?
Well, so far I would have to say the website. You designed a wonderful website. You simplified it, and especially with the EPK, the electronic promotional kit that you've got on there for a couple of different things, my speaking and also my acting. You have all the demos on one page. So every time a casting director sends me something back, they're like, you know, you have to have a demo if you're going to be able to apply for the thing. So not only do they see just one, but they've been able to see an array of things, and so because you've got them all up there, and it's really easy. So when I send stuff out and I'm applying for positions or sending stuff to casting people or producers or directors, I say, you know, just go on the EPK page of my website and you'll see everything. So it's been very simple. And the other cool thing that's happened is you put a contact form on the page. And through that contact form, I've been contacted to be a guest on various radio shows. Somebody wanted to hire me to pitch a product for them, which is one of my other expertise. So by just being out there in the world, you never know who the heck's looking for you. And because of the fact that you've been able to do that, gotten some great results.
Right. Yeah, it does help to have an EPK. A lot of people don't, but it does help a lot because it's very summarized, it's quick, it's short, and it's a first impression. People can always go look for more information if they want it, but your EPK is the first impression that you create when you send that link, your EPK link to anybody. And it's got your headshots, it's got your bio, it's got your, like you said, demos, everything in one spot, one simple link. And that is really important. When it comes to...
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when it comes to the social media marketing, what do you find to be the biggest challenge that you run into?
The biggest challenge for me is time. And just being able to have time, even an hour a day, is a struggle in many cases. We think in 24 hours we should be able to at least get 1 hour a day where you can sit on the computer and put stuff on your Facebook page or LinkedIn or Twitter or update the website, whatever it may be. But I got to tell you, just everyday life, trying to be out there and being out in the real world has been a challenge. I don't even know when the last time I've been on LinkedIn is, and then thank God for you've set all that up, and I don't know. Facebook I'm able to check more often, but Twitters and blogs and all that stuff that you really need that I'm learning through you to continue to promote yourself so that people know you're there, you're available, they're not forgetting you, they're thinking about you. Oh, maybe we should hire this particular individual or whatever it might be. We should use their service or go to their business. If people aren't thinking about you, obviously they're not going to come and use your service. So having somebody like you that's an expert at that and is focused specifically on taking care of their client and spending that time and knowing what needs to be out there, I mean, truly, I'm learning is really invaluable.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. And how much time do you think you do spend on social media marketing?
Me, not a whole heck of a lot, just because, I mean, right now I try to keep with my radio show that I do, I try to keep the schedule updated on my website just so that when people go there, and then, that takes a minutes of time, but even so, even though it doesn't take a lot of time, it's still finding that time. And then also Facebook, I try to at least check that every day, but I don't necessarily get stuff to be able to put there every day just because of time restraints and trying to get, videos or, pictures or whatever it might be just to continually get that keep that wheel spinning that Rob does exist in this world. So for me, having an expert like yourself, I mean, just with the outside world, with the phones ringing, family issues, job issues, life issues, going to the doctor, just everything, if you're not fully focused on that, it makes it difficult. So having had you there and putting all that together, I can see how the business and how things are going to grow in the future by doing using an expert like yourself.
Right. Even though you do have somebody working in your social media marketing, it does still create some work for you. And I know that is a challenge for you and just about everybody else I work for, is finding the time to get the information to me that I need in order to promote you, meaning pictures, videos, whatever it is. It does take some time, even if somebody like myself is doing your social media marketing. How do you get around that? Have you figured that out? Are you working on that? Do you have any suggestions for others on how to come up with information like that? Or is that something we can talk about that I can give you some information on?
Well, you can definitely give me some information on that because it'll help me and others as well. I think instead of trying to look at it as a big, giant project, I think what I'm figuring out is that if I just take a small bite, even if it's only once a week, and dedicate, a couple hours to saying, okay, in order for Cynthia to create my website or update it or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, I need to be able to take the time, because if I can't give her the time, like you're saying, you're right. I still need to create stuff for you because you can't create everything. You don't know everything that's going on if there's not communication, so there has to be communication as well. So as time is going on here and as things are getting busier, now I'm realizing more the valuable of your position, a social media marketer. And, I realize that for anybody that's out there, I think you just have to look at yourself and say, okay, what am I trying to accomplish in life? And if I don't want to put aside an hour a day or a half hour a day or a couple hours a week or something to make sure that the person that's helping me out doing the marketing for me has the tools that they need. Just hiring a coach to train me in the weight room, but the guy has no weights in the weight room isn't going to get me stronger to play football. So I guess if I have a social media marketer and I'm not letting you know my schedule, if I'm not updating you on pictures or videos or promotions that are going on, if I have a store or whatever it might be, if I have an event coming up, if you don't know that, it's going to be difficult for you. So one thing I've learned working with you is that I have to also take responsibility for making sure that you have the tools that you need to effectively promote me.
Right, and that I know that is difficult for a lot of clients, but I'm not there to take videos, for example. When you're out doing something, I'm not there to take the video in order to use it for social media marketing. So you either have to have somebody there do it with their cell phone and then send it to me or something, but I need to be able to have access to that information. Now you do, as you mentioned, you are a radio talk show host. You have all those recorded. And now just to give you a little tool that you can use, you can go to GoDaddy.com and they have free storage that you can use. And that makes it really easy for you to get that information to me, because one of the problems is you have a 1 hour talk show. I run into the same problem. If I have a 1 hour talk show and I try and send it to somebody, it's very difficult to do because the file is so large and it times out. And videos are even harder. But if you use GoDaddy and you use their free storage, you can upload that stuff. Doesn't take any time at all, and it creates a link and you send it to the person like myself that you want to get that information to, and then I can go to that link and I can download it myself. It's a piece of cake. So you've got all those audio files of radio shows that we need to get on your website. That is something you can do to save yourself some time, is just upload them into your free storage that you have. It comes with your email account.
Now, see, that was a huge tool that I didn't know about yet, so that's fantastic. And, and these are the things that, for me, as somebody who's just learning, obviously that's going to work. Now, that's a great tip right there, because I'll guarantee you, I didn't know about it. I'll guarantee there's a whole lot of people listening to you right now that didn't realize that that was an available tool right there.
Yeah, it does save a lot of time, and it's very easy to do. We'll have to get together and talk about that, and I'll set you up with that. But it is not hard to do, and that will save you a lot of time. And for those of you who are running into the same kind of issue, I will go ahead and I'll do a blog on that, actually. But that's what I should probably do, is just do a blog and I'll put it on my website and talk about the free storage on GoDaddy and how to use it, and then it's available to everybody. So I'll be sure to do that this week, and when the show airs, it'll be there for you. So.
Yeah, that would be great, because I didn't know about that myself, so this is all new stuff. Because every little tool that we have to eliminate excuses for not getting it done, and I think the biggest thing is we just have to look in the mirror and say, what do we really want? If we're taking the time to have somebody do social media marketing for us, then it's because we want to be successful at whatever it is, whether we own a pet salon or whether we're an actor or whatever business it might be, if we're a donut shop owner, whatever it is. Then if we want someone to be able to create for us, then we have to at least allow them the opportunity to be able to do that with the stuff. So I'm learning that, and it is. You're right, though. The time factor is, but the more, as I'm talking to you, it's really cool. Sometimes when you talk out loud, you can hear yourself, and either you sound, wow, I'm really sounding stupid, or wait a minute, I'm sounding like maybe I got to really think about some things a little bit more, which is what I'm doing now. And it's like somehow, some way, I just have to dedicate a certain block of time and just make that my little weekly project to make sure that I've always stuff to you.
Yeah, and that is so very true. And I got to tell you, working with entrepreneurs and artists, one of the biggest difficulties is that you are not on an 8 to 5 schedule. You do not have somebody standing over you saying, this is what I need you to do, these are the tools I need you to do it with, and this is the timeline you have to do it in. You are an entrepreneur, you are self-employed, and you have complete control of your own schedule. That is wonderful, but it also makes it really difficult to be as committed as you need to be to get everything done. And so honestly, having the commitment and just setting aside however much time you know it's going to take you every day. And really, if you have somebody doing your social media marketing, it shouldn't take you more than a half an hour a day. But what really works is just set a half an hour a day, every day, same time, where you know that that's what you're going to do. Just as if it was a doctor's appointment, you knew you had to be there, you had to do it. Other than that, it's almost impossible to do because you just get sidetracked, and like you said, you get busy with family issues, life issues, business issues, work issues, phone calls, you name it, it happens. And it's just a matter of really understanding how important it is, being dedicated to it, and making it happen.
Well, I think one of the biggest things is that I can't expect miracles to happen just because I say, okay, I have a social media marketer now, and she's just going to make me millions of dollars and get me millions of likes on Facebook, or have, a zillion hits to my website, and everybody's just going to buy my product. I have to be able to give you the stuff, whether it be the promotions, whether it be my calendar of events, my availabilities, my, whatever it is. And, one of the things that I was learning that you kind of got, opened my eyes to a few weeks ago was that, I need to make sure that if I am going to do something, I need to discuss it with you because, for instance, I went on my website and changed some things around and added colors, and I changed some font, different things like that. And I was unaware of the fact that something as simple as a font size or a font type on a website could screw things up, because I didn't know until you told me that not all computers will read all the different font types. And if I get too creative and too fancy on my EPK or parts of my website, other people it may look cool to me when I'm doing it, but it may not be the most effective, and others may not even be able to read it when you send it to them. So that was really cool to learn that from you.
That was true. I went on your website to do some updating, and I looked at it and think, what in the world happened to the website? Yeah, you actually you had actually just made a couple of really small changes even to the navigation up at the top of the website. And it threw off the whole lining of the navigation. So the navigation was all lost and off to the right-hand side, so you couldn't even get to most of the pages. And I don't know how long it was like that, but yeah, it did cause a couple of issues.
Well, one thing I've learned in working with you is that if you're going to have somebody do something for you, then allow them to create for you. And if there's something that's missing or something you would like to change or update, rather than trying to, my thought process was, okay, I won't bother Cynthia. She's doing a lot of work and stuff, and she's doing a great job, but these small changes I won't bother her with. And what happens by me making small changes, I realized it caused bigger problems. And it would have been easier just to call and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking on this page here. And then before I went and did stuff, you could have explained to me, well, that's a good thought process or whatever, but this is why I didn't do it that way in the beginning. So, I've learned that being on the job, think about it. If you're a boss at work, sometimes, people will come to you with good ideas, your employees, but there's a reason why you didn't already do that, perhaps, because even though it's a good idea, it may not be the thing that works the best. And that's one of the things I've learned with working with you is that, communicate first and, let the expert explain to you why that might not be a good or maybe it, it can be tweaked a little bit, but maybe not the way I want it to. So, if you're asking me for what I've learned the most in working with you, it's communication, and also that if you're going to allow somebody to do something, for my part, if you're somebody that's going to hire Cynthia or anybody to do social media marketing, and I would suggest Cynthia, she's done wonders for me, and others that I know. But point being is that let them do their job, but also give them what they need to be able to effectively market you.
I've been managing businesses for over 30 years, and primarily entrepreneurs. And one of the things that I have told just about everybody, every client that I've worked with, first thing I tell them is, if you're going to be in business and you're going to be successful, you have got to surround yourself with the people that you really trust, give them the job, and then let them do their job. Let them do what they're really good at, and you do what you're really good at. Leave them alone. You need to trust them to do their job.
Well, yeah, because I've found out, and I've gotten some phone calls from you, which, are good phone calls because they're learning from me, and I apologize. They've been frustrating phone calls for you because you're doing the work, and then I go and say, well, you know what? She's doing good work, and I don't want to bother her. Well, but the reality is that, would I go over to my neighbor's yard and say, well, they did a lot of great work on that landscaping, but I really wish they would have moved that tree or cut down this branch or whatever, and I go and do that for them, I'm probably not going to have a great relationship with my landlord or my neighbors or whoever it was, right?
Good point.
Same thing, right? Nowadays I'm looking on this thing, and every day you got this new stuff, this Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn
right.
and the pinup thing, all these things you've got on there, Pinterest and all this stuff. Every day there's another one. And
right.
trying to keep up with that is just insane. So, having, even I have to imagine, even for somebody like yourself who's an expert, and this is what you're doing and your whole focus is on that, it's still going to be challenging for you who's an expert. It's just like this. How I look at it, your job is like this. It's like the car mechanic. Cars are constantly changing.
Right.
Mechanics are constantly at school all the time, relearning, the new thing, the new way the carburetors work, or the new ways this works and the computers work. If they didn't continue to go to school, I know you're continually learning yourself, and this is what your full-time focus is.
Right. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more with Rob Ekno about what he feels are the do's and don'ts of being an entrepreneur. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with you and Rob Ekno right after this.
And we'll be right back with Highway to Success with Cynthia McIntosh right after this.
Don't know that lady has been, and if you take
And we're back with Highway to Success with Cynthia McIntosh.
Welcome back to the Highway to Success show. You were just listening to Bobby Manriquez and his song Find That Love. You can hear more of Bobby Manriquez on BobbyManriquez.com. We've been talking to Rob Ekno, and we're talking about social media marketing and managing our time and making our social media work and working with your social media marketer. So with that, welcome back, Rob. And I wanted to ask you, for the second half of the show, why don't you tell me what it is that I can do to help you to get the information to me and how we can work together closer.
Well, I think for you, I would want to know more about, what are all of these things? What is LinkedIn? What is Pinterest? What is Twitter? What, is Facebook? What are the different marketing tools and what do they mean? Because there's a whole lot of stuff out there. We turn on the TV and we turn on different TV stations and they're taking stuff from Twitter. News organizations are taking stuff from Twitter or LinkedIn or Pinterest or Instagram. I mean, there's so many of them out there. I couldn't possibly keep up with them myself. What do you recommend that each one of them needs from me, and what is the value of the individual ones that are out there that will help you to help me?
Great question, actually. And just an FYI, when I look at my calendar every day, I have 1 hour set aside every single day to do nothing but study the new stuff that's coming out. And it's a lot of fun, actually, because there's a lot of things there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of fun apps that you can get, all kinds of things. And cell phones are a whole different story, and we're not going to get into that today, but there are so many different things you can use, and it's actually very important to start using cell phones nowadays. But as far as social media marketing goes, there are a ton of new sites out there, and they do all have a different purpose. And there is a blog on my website that discuss that topic, all the different main social media sites, what they do and why they are different, and why each one of them is still very important. For example, the LinkedIn is basically, it's more of a resume. That shows your more professional side. And, there's only so much you can do on Facebook. Facebook is more for creating relationships. LinkedIn is actually your resume, and it's more professional. It's where you meet other people that are in your profession or in a related profession. So you go on LinkedIn to get involved in groups. That's really the only way that you're going to meet people on LinkedIn. There is not any chat like there is on Facebook. But on LinkedIn, you go into groups where there are going to be people with similar backgrounds. You're going to go to agents. There are groups there where all your agents are. There are groups there where other actors are. There are filmmaker groups, different groups like that. And you go in those groups and you start answering questions. You start new discussions. And you get to know people that way. And the more you answer questions for other people and you support other people in those groups, the better LinkedIn is going to work for you. So
that for me, I had absolutely no clue. So that's the kind of stuff that I need from an expert like you, because I've just been realistically, I get messages all day long from LinkedIn and all the groups that I'm in, and I haven't had taken the time to respond to anything. And there's always discussions I see going on and all this that's happening in there, but I not knowing until just now, which is really cool, and that's why I wanted to come on the show, because I know that there's others out there like me that you see all these things and you hear all about them, but you don't really know what their purpose is, what the effectiveness is, why it's important to be a part of them. And see, now just from doing this show, just from your last 3 minutes of telling me that, now I've got to know that I've got to focus on LinkedIn and start getting involved with these things, because it sounds like, from what I'm looking at, all the groups that I am in, that there's a lot of valuable information, possible work opportunities, networking opportunities. So I didn't take it quite as seriously as just in the last couple of minutes. You've just enlightened me, as I'm sure others, and now I'm going to focus a little bit more on the LinkedIn side as well.
Good deal. Yeah, LinkedIn is really important, and it is very different than the other. With that being said, all of the social media sites that you use, whether it be Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, the whole purpose of every single one of those websites is specifically to lead people to your website and to your EPK. That's the only reason that we even use social media sites. It's not for selling primarily. It's not for, it's really to create relationships and get people interested to go to your website. That's really the purpose of social media sites. So when you get on there, you're not trying to sell yourself. If you do that, people are going to lose interest and they're going to go away. But what you do is you go on to websites like LinkedIn and you subscribe to different conversations and to different groups that are interesting to you, and then you start sharing your expertise. You start sharing what you have found. You start sharing, answering. People ask questions all the time on there. And you go on there and you answer those questions, and your goal is to set yourself up as an expert in your field so that people will want to go to your website to check you out. And that's how any one of these pages works. So if you're not getting involved, if you're not getting involved in discussions, and if you're not answering questions, and if you're not asking questions, it's really not doing you a bit of good.
Now, see, I had no clue. So this is new. I'm glad I brought that up because, you know, for me now, I mean, all day long, because the email I have obviously goes to my cell phone from the LinkedIn, and all day long I'm getting, you know, professional speakers group sending me something, actors group, professional talk show host, this radio network talk show host, all this stuff that all day long is feeding me stuff, and I'm sitting there hitting the delete button thinking that it's a pain in my neck, that why am I getting all these emails, why do these people keep bothering me? And from what you're telling me, I'm getting all these blessings being sent to me that have a possibility of creating an energy that will get people to my website, that will get me involved and help propel me with what I'm trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you won't get those kind of emails unless you've subscribed, by the way. So just for you listeners, don't think that if you create a LinkedIn account, all of a sudden you're going to get hundreds of messages and emails every day, because you won't. Unless you create a discussion or subscribe to a discussion that you think is interesting, you're not going to get those kind of emails. Now, if people take an interest in your LinkedIn page and they ask you to friend them, you will get an email that tells you that. But the other thing about LinkedIn is that it's not like Facebook where anybody can like you. You actually have to be connected in some way, either through a group that you've both joined, or through somebody that you know, or it's got to be somebody you do actually know. It will specifically ask you, do you know this person? And if so, how do you know them? Did you work together? And if you don't know them, you can't connect with them. It's not a spamming type website, so you're not going to get inundated with a bunch of junk. But if you join groups, you get to know people through those groups, and once you get to know them, then you can connect. Just an FYI.
Well, that's a very important FYI, because, see, I'm glad I asked the question, because I did not know how all of that worked. I have my resume up there. Obviously, I'm connected to groups because I'm getting, you know, professional motivational speaker groups, these groups that I keep getting messages from all day. And up until this radio show, I've just been hitting the delete button going, man, I keep getting all these darn emails. When you're telling me now, I should be lucky that I'm getting all these emails, because now I get to participate in improving, getting people to my website and possibly finding more business.
Right, and the interesting thing about that is if you are getting that many emails, that means you have joined discussions that are very active. That means there's a lot of people there that you could be connecting with and making relationships with. So the fact that you're just deleting them is definitely not a good thing. So stick your hand out so I can slap it.
I came on this show so you could let because that's the whole point. You know, that's why I wanted to be your guest, because I wanted to learn, and I wanted to let your audience know things that I've learned already from working with you that I should do or should not do, and things that I need to step up to the plate or stay out of your way and let you do as well, because there's no way in the world that everybody listening to you can be an expert at social media marketing. It's just not possible. So to have somebody like you, and I love the fact that you said the first thing you do, you set time aside every day to make sure that you're studying exactly what is going on, the new upgrades to the Facebooks or the LinkedIns or the Pinterests, the Twitters. That's really cool to know that the person I'm working with is really dedicated to her craft. You just made invaluable waves to my brain here today on letting me know what LinkedIn was all about, because there I was all these last couple of months just blowing away opportunities, perhaps. And that's why, somebody like me now, Do you mind there's a couple other ones there. The Pinterest one. Well, how about the Pinterest?
Actually, Pinterest is a really interesting product, and it's very different than any of the other ones. For those of you who have never seen Pinterest, it's basically a picture page. And the way it works is that Pinterest has a button, and I don't know if you're familiar with it, Rob, but it gives you a button that you put on the top of your browser. And so anytime you're on a website, for example, I could go on your website, and if I see a page that I think is really cool, I click on the button that I've put on the top of my browser, and it will bring up all the pictures that are on that page. It'll bring up all the information that's on that page, and I pick what I'm interested in, and then I click pin it. And it puts it in my Pinterest website, and it also lets you pick and choose. You can create like books or groups where you put all these different pictures, and so you can have one. For example, I could have one that I call entertainment on my page, and then anything that I see about entertainment that I think is really cool, I can pin into that. So people can go through and look at my page and just look at all this different stuff that I've collected. It's basically a collection of things that I find interesting. But on top of that, for those of you who are listening, if you're into any kind of sales where you're selling an actual product, for example, I have a client that is a t-shirt designer, and he has a line of t-shirts. So I created a Pinterest website for him, and you create a page. I have all his t-shirts on that page, and you can actually apply a price to those t-shirts. And people go onto Pinterest, and there is a way, if you go onto Pinterest, you can do a search for things that are being sold for a particular price range. And it'll pull up everything that people are selling in that price range. It starts from very, very low to higher. So you can, and actually you could do the same thing as a service. Rob, if you wanted to create pictures and attach a price to your services and put it up there, then people could look. Although it's probably more of something, if I'm looking for a gift and I only want to spend, for example, $20 on a gift for a kid, I can go on there and do a search, and everybody that's put stuff on there that they're selling, it will pop up, and I can sort through that and find what I'm looking for. So it's kind of a fun, very different thing. And the nice thing about Pinterest, though, is that there are no friend me's type things. You can subscribe to somebody so you get everything that they do, but it's not like Facebook where only people that have friended you or people that have liked you get to see what's on your page. Anybody can. So it opens it up to everybody, which leads me also to Twitter. One of the nice things about Twitter is that anybody can see what you're posting. They have to actually follow you and subscribe to you in order to get a notification every time you do anything. But I, as Joe Blow, can do a search for anybody that's in the entertainment industry, and I can find you, and I can read what you've posted. Whereas on LinkedIn and on Facebook even, I can't do that. If you have the kind of page you're supposed to have, and if you have a business page, and I have not liked your page, and you and I have not connected in any way, I can't just go to your page and start posting, nor can I just go on there and read anything. I have to be connected to you first. And that's how Facebook avoids spam. But Pinterest and Twitter are not like that. It's a microblog. Anything that you post, you can link it to Facebook. So anything that you post on Facebook, it's going to show up on Twitter, and anybody in the world can find you on there. And if you like, it's just like LinkedIn in a respect that you can also look for groups, and you can like groups, and you can get involved in discussions with groups. But anybody can find you, anybody can respond to you on Twitter, and they aren't going to be limited by whether or not they've connected with you in any way, shape, or form. So you have complete. That's why radio stations, news stations, and everything use it, because there is absolutely no limitation as to who can see you, and there's no blocking, no spam blocks or anything like that, because you really can't spam. It's really kind of difficult to spam on Twitter since it's just basically a microblog and anybody can read it. So it works very differently, and you don't have to go into Twitter specifically to post anything, because like I said, it's linked to your Facebook page. So it's a way of reaching out to people that are not connected to you in any way that might be interested in finding you, and then you build connections from there.
So you can have a lot of people, millions of people realistically then, that are out there that see you for absolutely free then, correct?
Correct, absolutely. And also, with Twitter, as you're posting things on Twitter, it can kind of tell what you're interested in and what kind of people are interested in you, and then it'll start giving you all kinds of suggestions on people you can follow and who you can invite to follow you. So it's a really wonderful way to make connections with people that you wouldn't necessarily be able to find through LinkedIn or Facebook because of the spam. And the spam blocks on LinkedIn and Facebook are wonderful. They really are. They belong there. I'm glad they have them. They're great. But getting into Twitter just allows you to reach out to everybody with no limitations.
So how would that counteract then? Just listening to you here, I'm trying to think. So if I'm trying to limit certain things on Facebook and LinkedIn, but then I connect them to Twitter, then does that not defeat the purpose of limiting things, or do I not want to limit things?
Okay. The reason that you would want to limit on Facebook and LinkedIn is because you don't want to be inundated with people sending you information you're not interested in. You don't want an Avon woman sending you Avon product advertisements every day if you're not interested in Avon, for example. So you have a choice of whether to accept people's connection or not. The nice thing about Twitter is that everybody can see you. There are no limits, but you don't necessarily have to get notifications. You don't have to respond. You don't have to anything. It's no big deal to it's basically a place. You don't even have to visit Twitter if you don't want to. Unless you're going to go in there and look for groups and really get involved, you don't need to go to Twitter. All it is a place that posts, basically what it is a place that posts everything that you put on Facebook and LinkedIn so that everybody can see it. And then if somebody sees it that's interested in you, they can go to Facebook and like your page. And if you want to communicate with them, then you accept the like. But it's
okay.
So,
see, this is all new stuff here. I'm so glad that I got to be a guest on your show, because even as much as we've talked and you've been working with me and helping me out, I'm learning even more today, because realistically I've never inquired you about all this stuff. But I'm seeing more, and I hope people that are listening to your show here too, that are in my same spot, are realizing why you need somebody that's expert in all this, somebody who studies this and has this for years to be able to do this, because I could never keep up with this without your expertise.
Yeah, now the other one that we didn't mention that is extremely important is YouTube. YouTube is the place that we need to really focus on. And the reason for that is because people love video. Video is king in the social media marketing realm. If you're going to be on Facebook, you need to be putting videos on there. And YouTube makes it really easily. You put a video on YouTube, you take the link, you put it on Facebook. It's a piece of cake. And again, everything you do on social media needs to be driving people to your website. And on YouTube, there's really no place to do that directly. But you can do it if you put information in the description that leads people to your website, and so on and so forth. So you use YouTube to get people to your website. But YouTube is owned by Google. Everybody goes to Google to look for things. In fact, I was just talking to a session player this past weekend. I was recording a show with him, and he was talking about the fact that he does session work, and if he just puts his website up, he gets very little in response. And you can go on to Google, and you can actually Google session players, and there's a whole ton of people on there that show up. And so there's a lot of competition. But he goes to YouTube, and you do a search for session players, and there's very little, because so many people do not use YouTube. And so you're cutting out a lot of the competition by using YouTube. And people are also getting to watch those videos and getting to know you and getting to connect with you better. So YouTube is huge. It's really big. And it is owned by Google, so it's promoted very well. It's got a lot of wonderful tools in it for promoting your business. And it's very easy to take those, once you put your videos on YouTube, it's so easy to take that stuff and put it on your website and put it on your Facebook page and put it even on LinkedIn. I have videos on LinkedIn. And so I take my radio shows and convert them, I record them and then convert them into videos so I can put them on YouTube. It's really a wonderful tool to have videos on YouTube. It's big. And if you're in a business where you don't think that you could really create videos, call me, because you can. Just about any. There's really no industry or any business that you can be in where you can't use video. And so if you can't come up with ideas for video, give me a call and we'll talk about it. But you can and should use videos for everything.
Well, I got to tell you, as much as we've spoken and worked together in the past, I'm learning an awful lot today. I'm glad I brought up some questions here that hit me in the head here about the Twitters and Pinterest and different things, because now I realize that the importance of connecting them all, the importance of being on them, the different things that each one has. I mean, LinkedIn especially, and the Twitters to get out there to everybody, and the videos. So, yeah, I can see how that's why you need a you out there, the Cynthias of the world, to help those of us, because I don't have the time. It's so difficult just to get you stuff, whether it be pictures or videos or blog stuff or something that you can use. To be able to study everything on top of that is just a lot. But like you said, if you're going to be successful, I need to be able to do that. And I'll guarantee you there's other people listening today that are like me, that are saying, I wish I knew, but I guess if we contact you, then we would know, correct?
And I do consulting work as well, so if you really want to do it all yourself and you want to just learn how to do it, give me a call there too.
Well, I got to tell you, I've been amazed. I'm taking notes here, and I'm writing stuff all over the place, and I've really learned a lot about all the different works. Yeah, I mean, seriously, and I didn't know all that stuff, so I'm glad we had this time to chat. I really appreciate the fact that you took the time to invite me on your show. And for me, if nobody else that's listening gets anything out of this, you've helped me today, and I'll be able to help others and at least point them towards you. But I guarantee you that others listening are sitting there going, oh, wow, I didn't know that either. Wow, I didn't know that either. And so I can see the importance, because I know a lot of us, we all think we can solve our own problems. I can just get on the computer, I can figure out this Facebook thing, this LinkedIn thing. But realistically, all of a sudden your day goes by, a phone call happens, something else happens, and you're doing other stuff, and it's like, okay, well, tomorrow I'll get to it.
Right.
So tomorrow may be too late in some cases if you're going for a job or you were trying to, apply for something, whatever it might be. So I can see having somebody like you, if I'm able to dedicate X amount of time, and not a ton of it, I can see. You just need specific, like we've talked about, and if I can get you tools that you need to help make me what I want to be, I mean, that's invaluable.
Right, and one thing about social media marketing is that if you don't stay on top of it, you lose interest and you lose people very quickly. It's not something where you can just do it one day and then wait a week and come back to it. It just doesn't work that way. It's something that you have to stay on top of on a daily basis. You need to respond to people. If somebody asks you a question, you can't come back and answer it a week later and think that's going to fly. Social media marketing just doesn't work that way. You need to stay on top of it. You have to stay involved, and to create relationships, that's just what it takes. And it's really funny. I get people all the time that will contact me for consultation, and they'll tell me, I think I can do it myself. I just want you to teach me how to do it. I just want you to tell me what's involved. And they'll pay me for a 1-hour consultation, and I'll sit there, and in an hour I'll just tell them, and I'll say, just be sure and take notes, and then go and have fun. And within 15 minutes of the consultation, you can tell that their eyes are just glazing over, and by the end of the hour they're like, wow, I didn't know there was so much to it.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I've learned today, and just the little stuff that you've taught me today. I'm glad I didn't ask any more, because you're exactly right. I wouldn't be able to absorb so much, but from this one here, I've taken notes myself. I hope other people that have listened to you have taken notes as well. But even with the note-taking, I would not trust in myself, and even with a consultation, I still wouldn't trust in myself to be able to always fully understand, because like you said, it's constantly changing. You're spending an hour a day just looking for updates, looking for the latest thing, what's happening out. They change their procedures, their policies. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Right. Well, I thank you so much for being on the show. It's been really fun talking to you, and I look forward to working with you some more in the future. And thanks again for being here. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for allowing me to be here, and thanks for teaching me so much, man. It's been a great experience. I hope you have an awesome day.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate it. Bye-bye. I want to thank you all again for listening to the Highway to Success show. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to remind you that you can listen to this and all your other favorite Indie 104 shows by going to indie104.com. and going to the on-demand page. The Highway to Success show was brought to you by Success with McIntosh. You can find us on successwithmacintosh.com, or you can call us at 866-636-4696. Again, that number is 866-636-4696, or you can visit us on successwithmacintosh.com. And with that, I'll say goodbye, and we will see you here next week on Indy 104.